dream which I want to share today is one which a friend of mine has told me, which she had, and it's a dream regarding relationships essentially. So I'm going to basically explain the dream first, and then we'll try to unpack it. So in the dream, this person who I know is in this social setting, and she sees this guy who is incredibly attractive and charming, and he is someone who is worthy of admiration, let's say, and he is communicating with all of these other people, and some of them are her friends and some of them are people she doesn't know, and the people he's communicating with seem to have almost very blurred out blank faces, so they're faceless, and she's sort of in the corner, and she is in that particular moment, because she feels so incredibly attracted to this person, she wants him to pay some degree of attention to her or even notice her. And in the dream, what's happening is that this person is talking to all of these faceless people, and he's communicating with them and almost flirting with them and being charming around them and really giving them a lot of attention and focus. And she feels, or rather notices, that he is completely not acknowledging her, not even looking at her. She feels completely unseen and invisible, and not visible. She said basically that these individuals she noticed were almost beneath this person, and she said that there was maybe an element of kind of arrogance there on her part or something like that, but simultaneously she felt, as she saw these people, the faceless people, she felt that maybe they have something which I don't have, something along those lines, essentially. She wanted to understand why that was the case, like why was it that this person was paying so much attention to these faceless individuals. What is it? Because she felt that there's some kind of fundamental quality which they may have, which she cannot see, or is not entirely aware of, or is vaguely aware of, which is leading this person to pay attention to them. And yet ultimately, in a way, she also had this feeling that she was above them, and that this person she liked was above them too. And there was an element of, maybe you could say, her words, arrogance there. So I guess this is the dream, and so what I want to do is basically now try to analyze it, And as you can see, first I highlighted the dream, and then I asked her to kind of tell me what she was feeling while she was in the dream, because that's really important, because that adds an additional layer to the dream, where we're getting the kind of emotional resonance she has with the particular dream. And with these two layers combined, I think we're ready to analyze the dream. And I think for me, this is quite interesting, because as I was unpacking, especially as I was communicating her feelings, there's some element there which is definitely worth unpacking. So let's examine that. Firstly, there are these two individuals who are on the same level, right? It's about level. And the level is to do with something which is, I would say, more egoic. It's to do with prestige or status or charm or something like that. And these two individuals are on the same level. Her being one of them, and the other person who's in the dream being the other one. Now, and then in the middle, there are all these other individuals who are faceless, meaning they don't have that quality which she or this other person have, but simultaneously, and they're kind of ordinary, but simultaneously they have an ordinary charm about them, which might be the reason this person is drawn to them. And that ordinary charm, the person who I'm talking about who had this dream doesn't have, right? So this is the domain we're in. Now I think that's really interesting, because firstly, obviously the kind of dream at hand is about relationships and this person feeling unseen, but it's deeper than that. It's not just about being unseen. It's primarily, for me, more about this ordinariness and this extraordinariness. That's the thematic element here, I think. So it's to do with the relationship, but it's a lot more than that too. In my mind, it seems to me that this person feels that in order to be someone worthy of love and affection, and someone who needs to be worth acknowledging, you need to be extraordinary. You need to have that certain quality which she has and which this other person has. And she feels that that's the particular thing which is that which makes you worthy of love and affection, and in turn makes another person maybe worthy of love and affection. Not a kind of petty, strange love and affection, but I'm just going to check 1 second. Yeah, so not a petty kind of, or I would say a pitying kind of love and affection, which these ordinary individuals may deserve from someone great, or may end up taking from someone great. But the real kind of love and affection, which is to do with admiration and prestige and like almost this boisterousness about you, and also about the other person, and those things interconnected. So this to me has a slight quality of concern to an extent, because I think what we have here is a kind of submergence or confusion between what we may call prestige and what we may call love. Because it seems to me that this particular person is confusing admiration with love, and feels that you are not worthy of love if you cannot be admired. But ultimately, the feeling of love, which is a mere giving and opening of something which is incredibly subtle and yet so powerful, is nothing to do with admiration or prestige or a certain kind of quality which makes you stand out from the rest. If anything, it's about the recognition that you are completely ordinary in your existence, and feeling completely loved and accepted for that, and loving another person for their complete ordinariness. And so this scaling of love which is out of pity versus love which is out of admiration is ultimately false, because neither of these are love, you see. Both of these modalities are about a kind of need or feeling that you can only be loved if you're admired. Whereas in reality, the truth is not the case. I would suggest to this particular person, and this is my analysis of the dream, that if you wish to really find out what love is for yourself, and what you might call falling in love with another person, which is truly loving, rather than loving born out of admiration, which is submerging and confusing what admiration versus love actually is, because admiration isn't the same as love. Admiration is an egoic phenomenon primarily. It's about wanting to stand out, and love is something very different, because love doesn't make you stand out. Love merely makes you feel fully like yourself, which is very different from standing out. It's just being fully yourself. So I would say to this person that maybe in order to be fully loved or understand what that may mean for them, they may need to let go of this feeling they have regarding the need to be someone who is worthy of admiration, the need they may have which makes them feel that they are someone or should be someone who stands out. And when they let go of this need, they will be able to look in the crowd, and it won't be a case of the person they love stands out to them because they have that same quality, which makes them think that, makes her think that this person is worthy of admiration and therefore love. But rather, when she lets go of that need within her own self, which is the need for admiration in order to be loved, she will recognize more carefully and more accurately someone who she could genuinely fall for and be in love with and in a successful relationship with. Before this, she's merely wearing a mask which makes her feel that she is unseen. And the reason for that is that she is not willing to see herself and accept herself. She feels that she needs to hold onto this veil of admiration and boisterousness in order to be okay. And so I would advise to her to let go of that so that she can see things for as they really are, rather than as the way she thinks she needs to be in order for things to be okay. So that was my analysis of this dream. And yeah, it was quite fun. I was closing my eyes because I think a lot of the times when I communicate with these things, I'm really reading into something which is like a deep sense of, I don't know, understanding or something like that. And so yeah, that was my analysis of the dream. So I tried to unpack it psychologically, and then I tried to give advice as well simultaneously. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll try to make more of these. I love making these videos. I love the dream analysis, tarot cards, and all of this. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you guys next time.